I love indie games. I don't think that's a secret. So when I saw that Steam was doing a spring festival that featured a bunch of exclusive demos for indie games that us normal people could access, I got really excited. And so what I did was went through and downloaded a whole bunch of them, played a whole bunch of them, and collected my thoughts on them in case you might have missed the exclusive demos. Now I played about, I think, 16 of these bad boys in total. And so in order to prevent this video from being 45 minutes long, I'm splitting it up into multiple parts. So keep an eye open for part 2, maybe part 3, coming soon. Without further ado, let's get into it. To kick us off, let's talk about Chicory, I think is how you say it. And Chicory is a super amazing game that I am super looking forward to. It's a little bit like a Zelda game, an old school Zelda game. You're moving around different like frames, overhead perspective, except it's got a super adorable art style. It's got some good little humor. It's got some banging music. It's just all around a really exciting game because it does something similar by being inspired by Zelda and all that, but then it does something completely different with the whole paintbrush mechanic. So the game starts you off putting you in like the role of a janitor for the current wielder of the magic paintbrush. After some mysteriously funky bad stuff goes down, you end up coming into possession of the paintbrush and the story starts from there. The demo is pretty short, but basically has you going through to meet an old wielder, a living legend, if you will. And just the way you get there is super awesome. You use the paintbrush to, solve puzzles. It's got a lot of cool thing with like light and darkness, it looks like. You can paint whatever you want, however you want, even though I did it because I'm very artistic, but it looks like shit when I went through and did it. So I don't know, man. It's got a lot of character, a lot of charm, and then I was very surprised by like the final boss fight in this. It was actually like kind of tough. It actually had some pretty good mechanics that used the brush in a good way. So if that's any indicator of how future combat and boss fights are going to go, I think this game has a ton of room to just grow and continue to improve, and I'm super excited for it to come out. Unfortunately, the Steam page says it's coming in 2020X, so there's no like confirmed release date yet or anything like that, but definitely go to Chicory Steam page, wishlist it. It's something definitely to keep your eye on. Next game on my list for the day is a little game called Sons of Ra. And it's kind of one of those interesting games where I really enjoyed it. I think it is going to be really, at least I hope when it comes out, it's going to be something that kind of interests a lot of people. But at the same time, kind of what you see in front of you right here is what you're going to get. It's a 1v1 tower defense game. So it has some parts that are kind of like, what is it called? Clash Royale. Or Minion Masters, I think, where you have 2 lanes, you send little minions down to attack the enemy base. But this one adds in just a little bit of tower defense to it. So you can build towers that generate more gold for you, or that can attack your opponent. And so it has these things. It's fine, it's fun. I can see it when this game comes out. I can see myself really getting into it and really enjoying it, just finding that right person to play with and playing couple rounds of this. It's got a nice aesthetic, looking like a board game, so it looks like you're actually sitting there like across from somebody playing this game, even though obviously it's a game, but it looks like a board game. I know that makes sense. All the pieces look like little pawns and everything looks like a board game. And so it's got like a simple aesthetic, but I think it works really well for the game. You can choose from a couple Egyptian gods. The demo only had 2, but it has all your favorites. So, you know, I don't know. There's not like a ton to talk about with Sons of Ra. And I played like 2 games and I understood the concept of the game just playing those 2 games. And I probably saw all that it had to offer, unless they're going to add like some kind of crazy weird campaign mode, which I don't really see happening. But at the same time, it looks good. It looks fun. It's fun to play. And yeah, Sons of Ra. If you like tower defense, maybe give her a shot. Which makes our 3rd game for the day, a little game called Batbarian. You know, like Barbarian, but with a bat. And man, I freaking loved this game. It is a Metroidvania, definitely more leaning towards Castlevania than the Metroid of that namesake, but puts you in the shoes of a barbarian who hates magic and his little bat that is made of magic. And they're best buds, and he just doesn't. It's like, oh my god, it's got humor. It's got the just kind of addicting gameplay of a Metroidvania. I love Metroidvanias anyways, so you know I'm kind of biased towards this one. But it's got, even in the short 30 minutes or what have you I played of this demo, I was unlocking abilities at a very steady pace that made exploration more fun. You get this really cool mechanic where you can throw like berries or fruit or whatever, and your bat, which is a light source, will go and follow it, and it can like hit switches, and it can illuminate lanterns, and it can do all this cool stuff. At one point you get like a companion wizard guy that follows you around and can shoot magic at people. And just so the level exploration was a lot of fun. There was a lot of like hidden pathways, which you love to see, and go and get treasure, which gives you more experience and money and all that stuff. You level up. The level up system, I don't know if I'm like super in love with that, because it's like a slot machine. So what stats increase will actually be determined by your ability to land in the right symbol on the slot machine. So I don't know if that's my favorite thing to go about it, but there's also ways to get permanent stat increases, not through the thing, so you're not completely stuck doing the slot machine to level up and get stronger. So that's kind of a nice concession, but overall, the game has really nice like storytelling conventions. It's got a lot of humor. It has like dialogue options, although I don't know how much they change anything, but the dialogue's all pretty funny. There's one instance I'll throw up here where it's like a wizard shows up and all 3 of your dialogue choices are "I hate wizards," and so it's like, it's just funny stuff. And yeah, I went in knowing nothing about this game, and now that I've played the demo, I'm super stoked to play the final release. It's coming out 2020. Hopefully it says that, but you know, who knows when anything's coming out in this day and age anymore. But it's something to really look forward to if you enjoy games that don't take itself too seriously but are still fun to play. Got a lot of adventures, got a really cool boss fight, the music was really good. All in all, just something to really look forward to. Fourth game on our list today is a little thing called 100 Days Winemaking Simulator. And holy moly, is this game a weird one for me, because I know nothing about wine. I know that I kind of like red wine. That's about it. But this game has you balancing out like the body, the tins or whatever, and just like I downloaded it and it looked like a very simple like puzzle game. Like, make sure you can fit all these shaped squares into this bigger square. But every square that you do has you deciding on like how long to age your wine, or how to press it, or what to press it with, or how to fertilize the soil of the vines. And like, on the surface, it looks like a very simple puzzle game. And I guess if you really wanted to, you could just play it as a very simple puzzle game. But then it is a simulator. It's a full-on, like, this is how you make wine. and you have to understand this stuff, or your wine's not going to be good and you're not going to sell it. And it's like, I wasn't expecting that, to be quite honest, out of a game that looked like this, because, you know, it's got a really just kind of charming art style, very laid-back music, what you would expect something associated with wine to be. It's got kind of a classy, laid-back, good-looking vibe to it. Really dig the art style. Lighting up the puzzle pieces is cool. I have nothing wrong with that. I don't understand a single fucking choice I made throughout the whole thing. I can tell you that. I don't know any of this stuff. But at that being said, I wasn't like against it. I kind of liked it. And I think when it comes out, I really hope it being so niche doesn't end up kind of biting it in the ass. Like, I hope it appeals to more people, because I think it's really something fascinating that they're doing here with this game. And I hope it gets played by just everybody who plays video games, because maybe we can all learn something about wine here or there. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, I don't know. This is another one of those games. It's like, it's hard to say anything about, because I just do not understand what is really happening with a lot of the underlying mechanics. But even on a surface level, it was still kind of fun to be like choosing the wine label and what color bottle. I mean, it goes that in depth, man. You're choosing what size, and you're choosing what kind of cork to use in your bottle, and they each cost differently, between like a synthetic cork or a screw top. And it's like, holy shit, this is the deepest dive of a wine making simulator game I've ever played. And so I hope that pays off for it, because I think there's probably an audience for that. I might not be that audience, but yeah, 100 Days winemaking simulator. If you even have a passing interest in how the wine industry works before it gets into your little belly, check this one out. So the last game I'm going to talk about today is called She Dreams Elsewhere. And holy guacamole, am I stoked for this game to come out now. I had seen clips of it here or there, but now that I've actually sat down to play it, oh my god, I need it out right now. It is kind of a throwback to old school JRPGs. The combat is reminiscent of like the Shin Megami Tensei push-turn system, where you can hit weaknesses on your enemies and cause them to miss their turns, which is awesome. I love that system. I always have. It has a very stark like visual style to it. So like, it's got black and white mostly. The characters are blue, and then some of the backgrounds, especially in the combat, is just like wow colors, and it's, oh my god, it's great. And then it's got some really sick music throughout. There's one track during a party that I can't play because it's got some profanity, you know what I mean, that I can't put in there. But it's like an actual rap song that you might listen to at a party. Battle tracks are awesome. The visuals are great. And then, just to top all that off, the story is something that I have personally wanted out of more JRPGs. And that's a story that's actually about the people in the game. It's actually about the characters in the game. Most JRPGs, or I guess RPGs in general, are about like the world. There's a world-threatening disaster coming, and only the chosen one can stop it. But She Dreams Elsewhere, at least what I played in the demo, it could of course change, but it's about the main character and her struggles with her life. And it's kind of like personified in a way that like she's fighting her demons or whatever. But I mean, I love when games try to tackle deeper themes than just bad man bad, go fight bad man. And this game does that at a pretty perfect sense, I think. I think it really nails it. So if you like JRPGs, you like cool art style, you like really cool music, I don't want to say much about the story or anything like that because I don't want to give it away. But yeah, I mean, check this game out. Wishlist it for sure. It's going to be one you don't want to miss. And those 5 are going to do it for me today. I will put together another one here soon of the next 5. It might be a little slower now just because the way the world is. I don't have a lot of time I can record audio without my son being awake or what have you, so I'm doing what I can. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.